eternal war, and ancient horrors stretching far beyond human comprehension. Among these horrors dwell the Chaos Gods, Khorne, Nurgle, Tzeentch, and Slaanesh. Each represents a fundamental aspect of existence twisted and amplified by the warp, an alternate dimension of emotion and psychic energy. Join us today as we delve into the nature of these dark gods, uncovering their origins, their goals, and the ways they influence the galaxy.
Let us begin with Khorne, the blood god. Khorne is the embodiment of war, savagery, and unrelenting violence. Every act of bloodshed, from the smallest skirmish to a galaxy-shattering conflict, feeds his insatiable hunger for battle. Khorne thrives on the rage of warriors and the death screams of the slain. His followers, known as Khornate berserkers, dedicate their lives to slaughter in his name, wielding axes and blades in berserk fury. Khorne detests weakness, cunning, and sorcery, prizing pure martial skill and strength above all else. His creed is simple: blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. Wherever war spreads, Khorne is always near, exulting in the chaos. Yet this thirst for violence is not driven solely by hatred. To his followers, Khorne represents the purity of war, the primal thrill of combat stripped of morality or restraint. In the galaxy of the 41st millennium, where war is eternal and death is omnipresent, Khorne's influence is undeniable. World after world falls to his followers, and his skull throne grows ever taller with the remnants of his enemies. Next comes Nurgle, the Plague Father, the Lord of Decay. Where Khorne embodies destruction through violence, Nurgle represents the inevitability of decay and the embrace of entropy. But ironically, he is also the god of life and rebirth, though it is a twisted and repugnant form of life. To Nurgle, suffering is a gift. By spreading his diseases and contagions, he grants his followers an unholy endurance and resistance to pain. The infamous Nurgle's rot, for example, is not just a disease but a gateway to his eternal embrace. Many who turn to Nurgle do so out of desperation. These are people who fear death, suffering, or the rejection of society. To them, Nurgle offers comfort, an end to their pain, and a family among his followers. However, this gift comes at the cost of their humanity, as they are transformed into hideous, bloated, and festering beings. Pitiful as they may appear, they are terrifying in their resilience. Nurgle's domain in the warp is an immense garden of rot, overgrown with impossible foliage and teeming with disease. There he brews his plagues and delights in their spread, paying no mind to the destruction they cause. To him, decay is natural and inevitable, and he takes joy in watching all things crumble into his embrace. Now, we look to Tzeentch, the architect of fate, the changer of ways. Tzeentch is the chaos god of ambition, change, and deceit. He thrives on the pursuit of knowledge, the quest for power, and the struggle for dominance. To Tzeentch, nothing is static. All things must evolve or perish. He embodies chaos in its most unpredictable and inscrutable form, plotting endless schemes that twist fate and reality itself. His followers, whether they know it or not, are often puppets in his grand, incomprehensible designs. Tzeentch is revered by sorcerers, scholars, and anyone who seeks forbidden knowledge or power. Yet his gifts always come at a price. His blessings frequently mutate those who receive them, warping their bodies and minds in ways both wondrous and horrific. Tzeentch's followers often find themselves entangled in labyrinthine plots, unsure whether they are achieving their own goals or merely fulfilling his unknowable plans. His symbol, the ever-changing flame, represents his constant, unrelenting drive for transformation. In Tzeentch's realm, logic and reason collapse beneath a landscape of ever-shifting towers and swirling warp storms. Nothing is secure, and all truths are fleeting.
Finally, we come to Slaanesh, the Prince of Pleasure, the dark god of excess. Slaanesh was born from the decadence and self-indulgence of the ancient Eldari, an event so cataclysmic that it shattered their empire and birthed the Great Rift, the wound in reality that divides the galaxy to this day. Slaanesh represents the pursuit of perfection, pleasure, and sensation, pushing the boundaries of experience to the extreme. Yet this pursuit inevitably leads to corruption. What once brought joy soon becomes emptiness, driving the seeker to indulge in ever darker and more extreme acts. Slaanesh's followers are drawn to him by their unquenchable desires, whether they hunger for physical pleasure, artistic perfection, or boundless glory. To them, Slaanesh offers fulfillment, yet his gifts always come with a hidden cost. His champions become enslaved by their desires, consuming themselves as they endlessly chase the unattainable. Slaanesh's realm is a dazzling nightmare of excess, filled with unimaginable wonders that hide the torment beneath. Those who fall into his clutches quickly lose themselves, becoming hollow shells of what they once were.
Though each Chaos God is distinct, they are united as manifestations of the warp, which itself is a reflection of the emotions and thoughts of all living beings in the galaxy. Khorne's anger, Nurgle's despair, Tzeentch's ambition, and Slaanesh's desire are all born from the sentience of mortal creatures. They are not merely gods, they are the shadows of humanity and its allies, the dark mirror that reflects the worst, and sometimes the best, of mortal existence. Yet these gods are far from omnipotent. They are locked into an endless cycle of conflict, constantly vying for dominance over one another. The followers of chaos wage battle across the galaxy, not only against mortals, but also against rival worshippers, their loyalty divided between these competing entities. This perpetual infighting prevents the chaos gods from uniting, sparing the galaxy from total annihilation. However, their influence continues to spread, corrupting those who are weak, ambitious, or desperate enough to bargain with the warp. For every hero that stands against them, another falls to their temptations. In the end, the Chaos Gods represent truths of existence taken to horrific extremes. They are not merely villains, but forces of nature, born from the emotions of the galaxy's inhabitants and shaped by their collective desires and fears. To understand them is to understand the darkness within ourselves, the potential for greatness and ruin that resides in all living things.
Thanks for watching Storytime. Like and subscribe.